Imagine this, you're in Yellowstone National Park, the sun is shining, birds are singing. You're strolling along the boardwalk at Biscuit Basin, taking in the sights and smells of this geothermal wonderland. Suddenly there's a loud boom. You look up to see a plume of steam and debris shooting into the air. What's going on? On July 23, 2024, a small hydrothermal explosion occurred at Biscuit Basin in Yellowstone. This dramatic event was captured on video by park visitors, providing a stark reminder of the powerful forces at work beneath our feet. Thankfully, there were no injuries. The explosion, while startling, was a localized event. It caused some damage to the boardwalk, but did not pose a wider threat. The park acted swiftly, closing off the area to ensure visitor safety. So what exactly caused this sudden eruption? The answer lies in the term hydrothermal. Yellowstone is famous for its geothermal activity. This means there's a lot of heat coming from deep within the earth. This heat turns water underground into superheated steam. This steam builds up pressure over time. Think of it like a pressure cooker. The rock and soil act like the lid of the cooker. Eventually, the pressure becomes too much, and boom! The trapped steam bursts free in a hydrothermal explosion.
These explosions are a natural part of Yellowstone's geothermal system. They typically occur in areas with shallow groundwater and intense heat flow. While they can be dramatic, they are usually small and localized.
Now you might be thinking, explosion, volcano. It's understandable to make that connection. After all, Yellowstone sits atop a supervolcano. But here's the important part. This hydrothermal explosion was not a volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruptions involve magma, molten rock from deep within the earth. Hydrothermal explosions, on the other hand, are driven by steam and superheated water. They are much smaller in scale and don't indicate an increased risk of a volcanic eruption.
Think of it this way. Imagine shaking up a can of soda and then opening it. The sudden release of pressure causes a messy explosion. That's similar to what happens in a hydrothermal explosion. Now, imagine baking a cake and the batter overflowing in the oven. That's more akin to a volcanic eruption, a much bigger and messier situation.
Hydrothermal explosions are fascinating events. They are a reminder of the incredible power hidden beneath Earth's surface. But what exactly causes them? Let's break it down.
It all starts with heat. In Yellowstone, this heat comes from a massive underground reservoir of magma. Yellowstone also has a vast network of underground cracks and fissures that contain groundwater. When the groundwater comes into contact with the hot rocks near the magma chamber, it heats up rapidly, turning into steam. This steam gets trapped underground. As more steam is produced, the pressure builds and builds. Eventually, the pressure becomes too great for the surrounding rock and soil to contain. This results in a sudden explosive release of steam, water, and debris, a hydrothermal explosion. These explosions can vary in size and intensity. Some are small, like the one at Biscuit Basin, while others can be much larger, leaving behind craters tens of meters across.
Yellowstone responds, safety first. Following the hydrothermal explosion at Biscuit Basin, Yellowstone National Park took immediate action to ensure the safety of visitors and staff. The area surrounding the explosion was closed to the public, including the boardwalk and nearby trails.
Park officials are currently assessing the damage and monitoring the situation closely. They will use scientific data and their expertise to determine when it's safe to reopen the area to the public. Yellowstone has a comprehensive safety plan in place for dealing with such events. This includes constant monitoring of geothermal activity, looking for changes that could indicate an increased risk of explosions. Areas deemed potentially hazardous are closed to the public. Park rangers also provide visitors with information about geothermal features and safety precautions.
These measures help to minimize the risk to visitors while allowing them to experience the wonders of Yellowstone's geothermal features. Exploring Yellowstone: what you need to know. Yellowstone National Park is a truly amazing place. It's home to stunning landscapes, abundant wildlife, and of course those incredible geothermal features. While the recent hydrothermal explosion might seem alarming, it's important to remember that such events are a natural part of Yellowstone's dynamic environment.
Here are some things to keep in mind when visiting Yellowstone. Check the park's website and talk to park rangers to get the latest information on trail closures, safety alerts, and any other important updates. Stay on designated trails. Wandering off the boardwalks and trails near geothermal areas can be extremely dangerous. The ground can be unstable, and there's a risk of falling into scalding water or being burned by steam. Pay attention to signs, warning signs, and instructions from park rangers.
By following these simple tips, you can help ensure a safe and memorable visit to this natural wonder. Remember, Yellowstone is a wild and unpredictable place, but that's part of what makes it so special. Thank you for watching. Please share and subscribe.